to Business Lord You and the Women Running Businesses podcast. My name is Francisca Lee, and I'll be your host. If this is your first time listening to Women Running Businesses, we are a weekly podcast that brings successful female entrepreneurs in every week to dive deeper into their minds. So stick around to hear authentic and honest conversations surrounding entrepreneurship, and make sure to subscribe to stay in the loop. Today we have a very special guest, Rebecca Tremblay. Rebecca is the founder of Buteca, a swim and activewear clothing brand from Canada. Their main focus is making people feel absolutely amazing inside and out of the gym by offering beautiful, high-quality activewear pieces. Rebecca, I'm so glad to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you to have me.
Yeah. So let's start off with just talking about your business. Tell me a little bit about Buteca and what made you want to start it.
Yeah. So I started Buteca back in 2018. So it's going to be almost 3 years in November. And basically, I was always passionate about health, about fitness. I think I was just looking for a product that was really putting the emphasis on women. And that's what I created, basically.
That's awesome. In almost 3 years. Congrats. That must be a very
Yeah.
successful feat.
Yeah. It was quite the journey. Let me just say it that way for sure. Yeah.
So where did the name and the inspiration for the business comes from? The name Buteca is
Oh
very
my God.
unique.
It is. It's funny because I came up with this name with my ex-boyfriend actually. So I found the name for his business back then, and he came up with mine. So basically, we had a little detail on the leggings. We still do. So it's called like the scrunch butt leggings. So we really would like put the emphasis on the booty. So the Buteca, like the first few syllables come from booty, and then the end comes from Rebecca, basically. So yeah.
Oh my God, I love
Not
that. It's
extra
always,
original, but it just sounded very good.
yeah, that's actually really original. I never would have thought that's where the name came from.
A lot of people tell me that, and then when I tell them, they're like, "Oh, well, it makes sense." So yeah, voila.
Yeah. And have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur? I know you mentioned just a second ago that you came up with the name for your ex-boyfriend's business. Has entrepreneurship
Yeah.
always been kind of in your blood?
That's a good question. So basically, my grandfather used to work in construction. Now he owns like commercial real estate. So I would say so. I think I always grew up in that kind of entrepreneurship kind of thing. My parents though were both like government workers, so they had like a very stable life kind of thing. So my grandfather, I think, really inspired me to take that route. He did not want me to take that route, actually. He wanted me to become a doctor or a lawyer or a pharmacist, anything that was very stable. And I was like, I don't think I'm suited for that kind of life. So the compromise was for me to study marketing in university, and then I studied real estate. Um, so yeah, and then I was just like, you know what? Like fitness and health is really my true passion. So that's kind of why I've taken that path. So voila.
Yeah. What does your family think now that you have gone, the entrepreneurship route, even though they probably prefer that you have a, 9 to 5 stable job?
I think they're happy now. Honestly, I think they see me more fulfilled that I could have ever been in more like casual, regular kind of job. So yeah, I'm super happy, honestly, that I took that route. Also, it's not the easiest one, I could say. I had a really good job in a bank before I decided to take this route. Um, and yeah, it was growth. That's how I describe it in every single aspect of your life. Your business is basically just an extension of yourself. So the more you grow personally, the more your business will grow. So that's how I see it.
For sure. Are you
Yeah.
pursuing Buteca full time, or are you still working like a full-time job right now?
No, I since I started Buteca, so basically I accumulated some money, I put that aside when I was working, and then I knew I was going to go all in. So I do Buteca full time. I also do some day trading, which I really enjoy. And I travel. I travel a lot. That's what I like to do these days. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I saw your Instagram. You were in Austin, Texas a couple last week.
Yeah,
I'm from
last
Austin, so
week.
that was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah. Were you there?
I actually live in Austin, so that
No
was pretty
way.
awesome to see. I was like,
Oh
yeah,
my
I
God.
recognize all of
Yeah.
that.
Austin is freaking amazing. I love that city so much. There's so much like good people, great vibes, amazing restaurants. So yeah, I had a blast.
For sure. And speaking of traveling, now that we're
Yeah.
on that topic, I just have to ask, where
Yes.
has been the most fun place you've traveled to?
Oh my God. So last January, I left for Mexico. I was supposed to go for 1 month in Tulum, and I ended up staying there for 6 months, almost 6 months,
Wow.
basically. Yeah. So for sure, I've lived quite a few things during those 6 months. So Mexico would definitely be on top of my list, because I had the chance to experience so much throughout that period of time, obviously. Um, but yeah, I think wherever I am right now is wherever I need to be. Like right now, the funnest place for me to be is probably Canada because I'm with my family, I'm with my friends. Um, so yeah, I just think that life will give you the right opportunities at the right time. So
I
voila.
love that mindset. That's so awesome. I think people are so
Yeah.
focused nowadays on like, okay, I have like, 2 weeks from now, I have this, I have that, and they don't really live in
Mm.
the moment. So I love that mindset.
Yeah, I think we're all struggling a bit to live in the present moment, honestly. Either we're in the past or in the future, and I think that's what creates anxiety most for the most part. So I think just really focusing on this moment, enjoying it, making the most out of it, and then whatever happens tomorrow will happen no matter what. Like, so
Yeah.
voila. Yeah.
And so anyone who takes a look at your Instagram can obviously tell that you really value fitness. Can you tell
Absolutely.
me a little bit about how fitness plays into your life and how that impacted Buteca?
Absolutely. So fitness started for me at a very young age. I had a lot of problems with nutrition. My mom was overweight and she still is nowadays. She's working on it, but yeah, so I grew up with my mom that was not super confident in her body, and I think a lot of women around me were like that too. They were just not necessarily healthy. You could see it through their vitality, through their health, through how they felt with like towards themselves. So I think that really affected me as a young girl. Like you grew up and you think your mom's a super mom, like a super mom and all that kind of stuff, but you realize, okay, she's lacking this, this, and this. So I think I just always wanted to work on myself, and there was some heart diseases also in my family, so I just wanted to be really cautious about that, and just prevent that just by truly being healthy. And I think the more healthy you are, the better your life is just in general. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Definitely. That's so important.
yeah.
And especially in an industry that, constantly has a topic of, body dysmorphia, eating disorders, and all of that stuff. How do you
Hmm.
as a brand kind of approach that topic?
I think start where you are right now. Like there's no right place to start. There's never going to be the perfect moment. That's never going to happen in your life. The perfect moment is right now. You'll never be as young as you are today. Um, so our focus is just really accept where you are right now and do the best that you can to become the healthiest version of yourself. And I think your future self will thank you by doing so. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so important.
Yeah.
And so starting a business, obviously there's, so many things that need to be done. So you started with the idea. What was the
Hmm.
first kind of like concrete step you took to making it a reality?
Oh my God, that's a great question. So before I had Buteca, I actually was doing eyelashes on the side. That was my first real side business that I could
Ooh.
say. Yeah, so I had like the base of that. The first concrete step is probably like figuring out the name, figuring out what you want to do, ordering some samples, buying the domain. I think those would probably be the first steps. Which one was it? I cannot remember, honestly. Yeah.
It probably all happened like so fast back to back. You were like, just go, go, go.
Yeah. But no, at the same time, you know what? At that point, it was so young in my life. It was just more like one step at a time. And I was like, right now, if I would start a new business, it'd be much easier because I need, like, I've been through it a few times right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the beginning, you're just figuring it all out, like, honestly. So you're doing researches. Okay, I need to get this, and then you put everything together, and voila, you have your own business.
For sure. Now,
Yeah.
knowing what you know now after starting a business, if
Hmm.
let's say you were to start a new business next week, what would be like some of the things you do differently?
Hmm. I would probably surround myself with people that really inspire me and people that already did whatever I want to achieve in my life, whether it's no matter what you're doing in your life or no matter what you want to accomplish, there's probably someone out there that already did it. So find those people and ask them questions and keep them close to you. That's probably the number one tip I would give. And what else? What would I do differently?
Were there anything you do the same? Let's go with that too.
Ooh, I like that. Honestly, I think that everything happened at the perfect moment. I think life is a process, life is a journey. It's not just you wake up and everything comes into your hands. Um, so I think just being patient. Honestly, that trusting the journey. Yeah,
Yeah.
keeping yourself emotionally, physically, just fit in all areas of your life. That will help you so much have a lot more of motivation and all that kind of stuff. I think just overall in your life.
For sure.
Yeah.
And with timing, you kind of mentioned how, everything kind of happens at the right time. I'm
Hmm.
curious because you started your business before COVID happened, before everything shut down, before, all the gyms were closed. How
Yeah.
did the pandemic kind of affect your business, if at all?
Yeah, for sure. It was not too bad because we only have like a warehouse back home in Canada. Um, but for sure, like our sales were affected. Obviously, people don't buy as much. I think every time there was like a new wave, like our sales would go down and people would like prepare just to face COVID and whatnot. So, and like clothing is not necessarily like a necessity in life. So for sure,
Hmm.
it had repercussions on on our business. But overall, I have an amazing community of women that are supporting us, which I'm super grateful for. Um, and yeah, so I just try myself to help as many local businesses as possible that have like an actual physical store. I think that was probably the most not devastating thing for them, but a lot of people, like a lot of owners, like lost their businesses and whatnot. I'm very fortunate because that did not happen because it was an ecom. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it was tough for everyone. I think there was no one that got away without it.
Right, for sure.
Yeah,
Now, are you
yeah.
shipping out all your products? Like, you mentioned a warehouse. How did that kind of, happen? Well, at what point did you, let me rephrase that. At what point did you decide, okay, it's getting too big. I need a warehouse?
Yeah, well, actually, it didn't really happen that way. So, as I told you, my grandfather has commercial buildings. So, I
Mm.
used to have an office, anyways, already that was above his. And I really like that because it allows me to spend a lot of time with him. So, I just basically see him every single day. Um, so I already had the place. I already had the the office. So we just
Hmm.
like turned a few things around, and then it became our warehouse. So voila.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, very fortunate, honestly.
And how many employees do you currently have? Or is it just you and they're, working?
Yeah. So basically it's me and two girls. And then there's also people that we hire online, like people that um freelancers. So I
Hmm.
have someone for my website, someone like a lot of photographers obviously I work with. But basically it's the girl that helps me with the orders and then another one that helps me with the social media. So
Right.
yeah.
And then how employing people is always a little scary, especially as a business owner, because you're like, I don't want to give up control. How was that process for you, making your like first hire?
Yeah, it was different for sure. You got to let go of certain things, and the more you delegate to the right people, I think the more it allows you to focus on what you're truly good at and what your true mission is. And I think always keeping in mind that your goal is to help your community as much as possible, to help women as much as possible. So the more you delegate the small tasks, I think the bigger the impact you can have. So that's kind of how I see it. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
really good way to think about it rather than like, oh my God, I'm letting somebody else handle it.
Well, they're helping you handling it. I don't think they're like you're letting them because
Hmm.
you want to take on as many people as possible. So I think it's not a bad thing. A lot like yeah, it's gonna be hard, but learn to delegate and then it'll make your life so much easier. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
have any plans to start another business in the next, few years?
Yeah. So right now, actually, we're planning on merging with another company from Vancouver,
Wow.
and we are going to create some basic space, basically that like you can wear every day that are made sustainably, with sustainable fabric. So that's what we're working on at the moment. But for now, yeah, really traveling is going to be probably my passion for the next few years, and I want to just focus on that and let the business run by itself.
That's really cool. So how does like, partnering with another company work?
How does it work? Well, it depends on what every people like what each person brings to the table, what your vision is, and then you need to basically create the ink, see how much percentage, all that kind of stuff. So I'm still going through the process as we speak. We're figuring everything out. And I think like life is just like that in general. So whatever you want to make in your reality, you just got to find a way to make it work and figure it out. You figure it out as you go.
Right. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. And so being from Canada and you're based in Canada, do you see a lot of
mm,
your customer base being from there or
for
what's
sure.
that been like?
Yeah, like 90% of our clients are in Canada, honestly.
That's really awesome. How do they tend to find out about you?
How they find out? Well, obviously, I I used to train a lot of gyms, and ambassadors I think are a big thing, definitely. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I have incredible women supporting our brand, so just very thankful for that.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Customer loyalty
Mm.
is always, such an important thing.
Well, yeah, I think if you offer like a great product and great service, customers will always come back. So,
Yeah. And I'm curious, where is the furthest that you've shipped an order?
probably like Europe. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
That's really awesome. Must have been a real shock going like, oh my God, like that's a country that like isn't here.
I remember it used to be, yeah, but now it's like it's not like I wouldn't say that most of our clients come from there because still most of our clients are based out of Canada and the States. But we do have quite a few customers in Europe, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And do you have any
Mm.
plans to expand beyond, just being an e-commerce store?
Maybe eventually. I don't know. I'd rather under promise and over deliver. So wherever life takes me, that's exactly where I will be. I don't know for now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So running a business is, really stressful. You have, a billion things on your plate at all times. What are some
Mm.
things that you do to kind of mitigate that and, help, with anxiety there?
That's a great question. I think just everyone nowadays, there's so much on our mind. It's crazy. But for sure, when you're a business owner, you have a lot of things you need to deal with on a daily basis. I think just actually working out, scheduling some yoga in there, just being very time effective, scheduling like some time blocks and like this is what I do during those times. I think that is very important. Airplane mode, that's something I use very often. I put a timer and then I put myself on airplane mode and I just do whatever needs to be done. Um, and then, yeah, eating healthy, honestly, the foods that you put into your body affect your life so much. You have no idea. I think a lot of people are not conscious about that. And then spend time in nature. Go out there, like put that phone aside and go spend some time with your friends and family. Go do some hiking, go do some cycling, go do some running, all that kind of stuff. Super good for you.
Yeah, for sure. Especially being a lockdown, like everybody's staring at their
Mm.
phone all day. I think my screen time a couple months ago was like 10 hours a day, and I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. It is. And I don't think that's our true nature. So I think the more we can reconnect with our true nature, the better, the less anxiety obviously that we'll feel and the more we'll see how our problems are often like not that big. Like we often like we think like we have a small problem, but we think it's huge. We think it's the end of the world. Just putting things in perspective, I think is very important. So yeah.
Yeah, and talking about, kind of, just putting your phone down and focusing on work. I'm curious,
Mm.
what does your schedule kind of look like? I would say day to day, but I'm assuming your days are very different. So it's kind of like a general overview. Like, what are some things you do like every day that's important to touch on?
Yeah, that's a great question because exactly as you said, like there's not one day in my life that's the same, and I often get that question. I'm like, I don't know what to answer to you. Like my days are so different. Some days I spend fully in the airport. Some days like I spend fully in nature. Um, basically, I think there's one thing you need to do as an entrepreneur, and is to do whatever needs to be done, no matter what that is.
Hmm.
And if you don't do it yourself, well, you find a way to delegate it. So always like tweaking the business, making sure everyone's okay. I think the more you make sure that your team is okay, the better the business will go. Super important to take care of people individually. And then what else? That's pretty much it. I do more stuff for my day trading than my actual like clothing business, I would say now on a regular basis. But reaching out to influencers, to ambassadors, networking obviously is part of my daily life. No matter where
Hmm.
you are, you represent your brand. So I think, yeah.
Right. I think people really underestimate like the importance of networking,
Oh my
especially
gosh.
with, like being online, there's limits, but it also opens up like so many more people you could connect with.
Hmm. That's very true. But at the same time, there's nothing like, like a physical, I would say connection, but that's not the word I want to use, but like a physical interaction, like face
Definitely.
to face. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Miss meeting people at coffee shops and, just grabbing dinner and stuff.
It's so important. You never know who's around you and you never know who you can meet. So just put yourself out there, put your best self out there and always be ready, truly.
Yeah. And so you mentioned
Mm,
day trading. You kind of do that a little bit more now. I'm just
yeah.
curious because I know there's a lot of people out there who, want to get into day trading or curious about, what it's like. How did you
Hmm.
get into it?
How did I get into it? I was investing in stocks since I was probably like 18. Um, and then when I was in Mexico, that's where I learned most of it and just doing my own researches, making my own mistakes. And voila.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Have you made any like, I don't know, it's the right way to ask. Have you made any like big mistakes with day trading? Because I know I hear about people like, oh my God, I lost so much money.
Yeah, well, if you lose a lot of money or maybe you're risking it a little too big, I would say start slow. Probably the best advice I could give to anyone. Start with some smaller amounts and then build your confidence from there, and then you can play with bigger numbers. But I think a lot of people they start and they just want to make like and don't go in for quick money. That's the best
Hmm.
advice I could possibly give. Like the market fluctuates. Like you know how they say like the day will always follow the night? Well, it's the same with the stock market. And a lot of people don't realize that and they're just like in a rush and they sell when it's down. So just don't sell when it's down and sell when it's high and buy when it's low. I think it's just like basic principles that some people just have a hard time putting in application because they're doing it with their emotions. So just be very detached from your emotions, and I think that will serve you a lot in trading for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And it's definitely playing the long game, even if it feels
Oh
like
yeah.
it's being really slow sometimes.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, just trust that it'll go back and maybe like put some stop losses. Like, if you know that you don't want to go lower than that, then just
Hmm.
take the loss, take a short loss, and then voila.
Yeah. So, being a female entrepreneur, it could be a little bit difficult, especially in, such a male-dominated industry, both,
Yeah.
starting a business and day trading.
Hmm.
What's some of the most important things that you've learned in this journey?
Hmm. Um, I don't know. I don't feel like it's super male dominated, especially in my field, like especially in the clothing industry. I do understand your
Really?
point of view. Um, just you know what? Don't be afraid of making mistakes. And today it's funny because I was at the hairdresser, and we were talking about how in life we regret the things that we don't do. We never regret the things that we did. Never, ever. So give it a try. Like you have an idea, just go for it and give it your all. And if it doesn't work, well, you know what? At least you'll try it. Like you can say that you tried it. Um, so yeah, just take action, surround yourself with the right people, and just do it with all your heart and passion. Truly.
Yeah, that's so important. And it's really kind of calms the nerves a little bit hearing that it's not as male dominated as people tend to think.
Yeah, well, it depends. Everything in life is a matter of perspective. So it all
Hmm.
depends about with who you surround yourself with, and even if it's male dominating, like there's a lot of men out there that want to help you and that want to see you succeed. And I don't think that like there's some men that are terrible and that don't necessarily want that, which is fine. Just don't stick around those. Like, you know what? Do your own thing. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and who want to see you succeed. That's probably one thing I would say. And invest in the people that invest in you. I could not preach that enough. Like truly your friendships, your relationships, just invest in the people that invest in you as well. So
Right.
yeah, it's a
People are
big rule.
always the best investments.
Yeah, for sure. You are. You're always going to be your best investment, actually, I would say.
True. That is so true.
Yeah, because the more you invest in yourself, the more you higher your frequency, the more you'll attract amazing humans in your life. And that is just the most beautiful thing ever.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, in the next, 3 to 5 years, where do you see yourself and your business?
I like that question because I used to, at 21, I wanted to have kids. I wanted to be married. I wanted to live in Florida. Now I'm 22 and I'm not married. I do not live in Florida and I do not have kids. And I could not be more grateful for all of that to not have happened. So wherever life takes me, honestly, that's exactly where I'll be in 5 years. I have no particular plan. I just know I'm probably going to be traveling. And you know what? If I find the right person for me at the right time and I feel ready, perfect. But until then, I just want to make the most out of every single day and enjoy, truly.
Yeah. What kind of made that mindset shift from like, okay, this is what I want to get done to kind of just taking it day by day?
Life. Life taught me a lot. The best things in life often don't come from whatever you've got planned. They come super unexpectedly. And you must learn to appreciate those things and just be super grateful for where you are today because soon enough things will change. That's one thing I realized. Often we think that the life we live today is the life we're going to live for the rest of our life, but everything is temporary, truly.
Right. Yeah.
Mm,
And before we end out the episode, I just have to ask if you
mhm.
had to give, one or two pieces of advice to, someone who's, maybe in high school, middle school, who's thinking, I want to start my own clothing business when I grow older. I want to, travel the world. What advice would you give them?
Hmm. It's a great question. Find yourself a mentor who already did that and follow their path. Like, just follow the steps that they give you. And then do it not for the money. Do it out of passion,
Mhm.
truly, because otherwise you're going to count your hours and you're not going to be fulfilled. But if you do it with all your heart and you're truly passionate about meeting people, creating a brand, serving people, your community, whatnot, you'll do it with all your heart, and it'll be the most beautiful adventure you'll ever have in your life. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then I want to give you about 30 seconds, why should people buy Buteca? What makes it unique?
Mm, because it's an extension of who I am, I think, as a person. We support women. We want to see women glow in all spheres of their lives. And that's pretty much our brand. All our swimsuits are made ethically right now in Mexico. So I'm really proud about that. And voila.
Wow, that's such an amazing mission, especially women empowerment, such an important topic. Obviously, you know that if
Yeah.
you're listening to this podcast, so that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you, love.
And I think that's a great place to end this episode. I absolutely love learning about your business and your perspective on life. It's so unique. So
Mm,
I really love that. And for our listeners, make sure to tune back in next week for a new episode of Women Running Businesses. And Rebecca, thank you so much for coming on the episode today.
thanks to you, love. Really appreciated.